button.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
No, it's already got record.
Oh, okay. Hi.
Yeah, say hi.
Hi.
Hanif.
Assalamualaikum.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Now we are going to. Who's his name? Alam Kadir.
Zain Alam Kadir.
Zain Alam Kadir's place. He is one of the famous celebrities in Malaysia. I thought, but I don't because I'm Indonesian. Yeah. Now it's what time is it?
Kamera. Si, the kamera.
10:30.
Sekarang ni pukul berapa?
10:37. 10:30. Wait. Not working.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's 10:38. So we are going. Yeah, it's late, but I don't know because Alam Kadir just arrived from Perak.
Perak, yes.
Yeah, he had a photo shoot, something like that. So we are going there. We're still waiting. We are still waiting him. Yeah, macam tu. So just wait until we arrive at his house, okay?
Okay,
Bye.
Nak kena tekan ni?
kita tengok.
Ada. Okay.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay. Tonight, we are where am I?
You are currently in midfield, Taman Sungai Besi,
Yeah.
and there's this 24 hours restaurant called Alvira.
Okay, Alvira.
It just opened about a month ago.
Yeah, it's Mama. Kedai Mama. So yeah, here.
Hopefully it's halal.
So now we are here with one of the famous celebrities in Malaysia, a multi-talented, celebrities. It's real. Now we do our interview with our,
No.
no, it's just he likes to joke. So now we're asking you about your background. I mean, in this communication field that you do now. I mean,
Oh, okay.
lots of things.
This is 2015, right?
Yep.
It marks my 25th year in journalism, in media and broadcast and entertainment, and my 25th year. In 1990, I joined the New Straits Times. In 1990, joined the New Straits Times as a trainee. April 1990, and then I joined New Straits Times full time as a journalist. November 1st, 1990, and then in January 91, I was assigned to the business and finance section. So I was an economic writer for about 4 or 5 years before I moved on to entertainment and lifestyle and features and whatnot. And somehow that's historically as a writer, and along the way I end up doing a lot of TV stuff as well. By 2000, 2002, somebody suggested that I do hosting TV programs and whatnot, and acting and singing and whatnot, and I just went with the flow. The next thing you know, it became another part of my life as well. So all in all, now it's my 25th year, and it's been a wonderful 25 years in the media world. Allah has given me all the best and the worst in this field, and then I'm still learning new things, and I still want to do more. And I recently rejoined print journalism by being the contributing editor to Coordinates, a magazine pullout that comes with the Malaysian Reserve, which has the International New York Times inside it. So it's a magazine now. So it's like from press, print, and then we're talking about like the daily newspaper to magazine. So and then from when we talk about TV and broadcast, it was from hosting to writing to producing, and of course I mean not many people know that I produced MasterChef, the series for 5 seasons. So it's been an adventure. My life has been a series of adventures and misadventures that is, I mean,
So yeah, that's why people know you as a multicultural. I mean, multi-talented. I mean, you
Hopefully.
yeah, you have done something. A lot. Something like you're a producer. You're
Yeah, I
you're
mean,
an
but
actor,
that's the thing. Weirdest part was I wasn't even trained in journalism. You know?
Oh, so you just
I-
talent. You have
I
that
don't
talent.
know. Okay, first, my real interest would be the arts because I used to be a good artist as in like I draw quite well. I drew quite well when I was a kid and whatnot, and I used to win all the competitions for my artwork and everything else. So at 18, I joined art and design. The choice was either to do law because I got the grades. My grades was quite good.
So
But
maybe you
for
want
that
to
period-
share. You want to share your grades? Maybe?
Yeah, I mean, SPM was great. That's, and then at that point, when you have only a double digit or single digit kind of aggregate, you are like, you know. So I had the chance either to go science or art or literature, whatever. So somehow, as I said, it's Allah's gift that I have been given so many different things to try out. So when I had the choice at 18, I already knew I wanted to be my initial point, I wanted to be a fine artist. I wanted to paint. I wanted to draw, I wanted to paint, I wanted to design, whatnot. So I applied to join art and design, ITM. At that point it was ITM, now UITM. So I got in, and then that's where the misadventure started. So when you started, you just want to do either graphic or fine arts. You were so focused on getting there. The next thing I knew, in my second year, I realized that there are other things apart from just graphic and fine arts. Whatnot, there's about the departments. So because I was good in figure drawing, I ended up doing fashion. So I can sew as well.
It's proven. It is
So it was
proven.
like, and then I was doing fashion after a while, but there were, of course, as a young person, you were adventurous and whatnot. I went through certain periods of my life that was nothing I can be proud of as well. So because of that, there was some suspensions and whatnot. I had some discipline problems as well. And then because of that, I was not allowed to graduate. So final semester, I received a letter stating that I was dismissed. And it wasn't because of academic problems whatsoever. It was just because of some technical issues with my the number of years I spent there. So because of my suspension, I had two suspensions. One was forced suspension. The other one was because it's a long story anyway. But that's what happened.
Yeah.
So everybody had to go through certain things anyway. So but good things or bad things, it makes you what you are. What you were, what you've been, what you're gonna be. It's all like one string of, as I said, adventures and misadventures. But the moment that happened, I was like quite devastated. I appealed twice, and because my CG was not so bad, I somehow managed to get A for my thesis, 8 credit hours, which is not everybody could do. And then I was quite strong in art history. I mean, we're talking about like A+ kind of thing. Suddenly you were told you cannot finish, you cannot complete. So it was something that you just couldn't accept at that point. So what happened was I needed to do something with my life, to my life as well. So I said, okay, I won't go back home until I get something solid to show to my parents, because they didn't want me to do fashion or art design. I think anything to do with that, because in the 80s, it is quite impossible for you to make a living if you choose that kind of. That's what people thought, People have this thing about either you're a lawyer or an engineer or a doctor. That's very traditional. So in my case, they expected me to do that because my grades was, I was good in science and everything else, but I also have my language and I also have my art. So it's like, that's why I said Allah gave me all this gifts, and then with a choice to do what I wanted to do.
What do you want?
Yeah, but I never realized all that while I could write, because as far as I'm concerned, writing is for assignments and stuff and whatnot. But you never thought that how you wrote your assignment is the one that was the thing that determined your grades. So when I got like 3.33 minimum, 3.67 or 4 flat for art history, for psychology, whatnot, you thought it's just because you know the answer. But then again, maybe it was how you wrote it, how I wrote it then, to convince my lecturers or whoever that was marking it.
To be the right answer.
Yeah. So I was like, never thought of that. So when I was looking, I was in between work and whatnot. I was looking for something solid. What do I do now? I'm a dropout. I have nothing to show for and whatnot. Nothing to go for. So what do I do? So what I did was like, try different things lah. I was helping out a friend's sister jadi budak sapu sampah dekat salon lah. Whatever to survive. I even tried applying to join McDonald's, but my hair was too long at that point. They were like, I didn't think you were fit. McDonald's. I even tried to interview with a flight attendant, MES and whatnot, but it didn't work out as well because they needed somebody docile. I wasn't docile. I'm the type who need something to say. So imagine if I'm a flight attendant, can I have a no? Can I have a no? So I might be one of those. So and then along the way, what happened was when I was studying as well, I would do things for fun, theatre and this and that. And then there was a point, I remember accompanying a friend to RTM for an audition, open audition. I was accompanying my friend, and then the producer asked, "Wouldn't you try? Wouldn't you want to try?" I said, "Why not?" So I went. Then in 1990, while I was looking for what I was supposed to do, I got the call from RTM to host a show. Suddenly, out of the blue. So I said, okay, this is based on the recording that I did months before. Okay, so I went because I was jobless, right? So I went. Then I realized TV is not for me. I didn't have the patience because maybe I was younger. I couldn't stand the waiting, I couldn't stand the makeup part, I couldn't stand the costume part, I couldn't stand the lighting part and whatnot, and I couldn't stand waiting. So I did one show, I didn't even get to see it, and thank God on the day the show was supposed to be on TV, the entire kampung blackout. So nobody got to see what I did.
Your first experience was to be a what is it called? A host.
Yeah, it was that first, but I said no. Then it was journalism.
It was journalism.
Journalism came by accident.
Okay.
Journalism came by accident. In a sense, how did it happen? Journalism came by accident because I was flipping through a newspaper one day, and there was this ad: why I should be a journalist. Please write to us 1,500 words. 1,500 words. 1,500 words. 1,500 words, and it's handwritten either in English or in BM. Why I should be a journalist? So I decided, like, if I were to write in English, it would be easy. If I were to write BM, it would be easy as well. So if I were to write BM, I would be with Harian. In English, it would be New Straits Times. Then why should I be with my? I've been using a language that I grew up with. Maybe I should learn more from here. So I just did. What I did was, I really bluffed through the whole composition, the whole essay. I remember I said, imagine being the first to pick out the paper and being the first to read it and the first to tell it to your office mates. I don't want to be that person. I want to be the first to find out about it, to write it, so that you'll be the second actually. And then the process of printing, whatnot, I don't know, for some reason I just went with my idea and just sent it in with all the cancels and markings. And the closing date was 2 days, within 2 days. So send express letter, post laju, whatnot, and managed to get it done. The next thing I received a call for an interview. So went for the interview again. They asked, I answered whatever as honest as I could. The next thing you know, I received another call within a couple of weeks. Yeah, you got in. I was like, okay, fine. What do I do now? Okay, me? I got in. So I remember first day with borrowed shirt, borrowed pants, borrowed shoes.
All things borrowed.
Except for my underwear. That one can never be borrowed. And socks. Anything underwear, never borrow. Whatever disease your friends have. So I remember, and then my hair was sort of slicked back. And I said, okay, I don't know how long it will last there, but the thing is, at least I have something to say and something to do. So I told my mom, I said, okay, good, whatever. My parents are the type who would just let me do what I want to do because they know when I'm resolved, when I want to do something, or when I want something, I will get it done. They just guide me the right way. I mean, as long as I don't do anything horrible that would embarrass the family, which I do a lot. But anyway, so I decided, so I went. And then it was from the training. During the training, I realized I am a writer. By then, I realized I could really write actually. And by then, I was like, the pieces were not bad, and the next thing you know, I was training all sort of discipline in journalism, like, you know, from feature writing to business writing to whatever. And I just went through to say, if I knew, I wouldn't have gone to this. I would have taken journalism. But then again, if you knew your God, you know, God has a reason. Allah has a reason for
You
things
have to
happen.
find something first.
Yeah, and then as I move along, the next thing, within 10 years, I was made an editor from New Straits Times. I moved to the Malay Mail, and then by then TV work started, and it became, as I said, everything snowballed. The next thing you know, everything came naturally. The song that I recorded was also by accident. A friend was looking for a singer to sing it, and I happened to be around, and nobody. I was just doing like a vocal guide. The vocal guide went on air. The two of us recorded it. It became a theme song of a soap opera. One of the longest running soap opera at that point. Astana Idaman.
Dunia.
Astana Idaman. No, bukan itu bukan ini. Nah. Yeah, it was like, and then the next thing you know, here I was an editor of a newspaper, a pain in the ass in other words for people in the industry, ending up doing things exactly, doing the same things the people I criticize, the people I review. So I was immediately became a singer, and I started acting on the show. I became an actor, and then the next thing you know, I received an offer to do a TV show. That was to do film review, Wayang Kita, and the next thing you know, I was like, and at that point nobody wrote about me because all the journalists are my friends. They don't write about your friends, right?
Yeah.
5 years is a very meaningful year. Meaning I've spent more than half my life in journalism.
So which one is the longest?
16 years as a writer. And now I'm back as a writer, so I realize now after being given all the chance to do whatever I want to do, that writing is the one that I really care about. Because the rest are like more like, okay, I'll do it because of the money, I do it because of whatever. But in the case of writing, I do it because it's a way to express. Some people write to impress. No, I don't write to impress. I write to express. And because of that, people are impressed. If I write to impress, nobody will be impressed. You just say, show off. See, and I'm the type who will tell you the truth the way I see it. If your hair's black, I will say it's black. I wouldn't say like, oh, maybe it's gold. The dress. So and then that became my strength as well. If I go to, I used to review film, TV, theatre, everything else. So my main point was honesty. It's the thing about journalism. But as I grew older, as well as I told you just now, with honesty comes a price as well. So you have to be also mindful of how honest you can be. You might hurt people as well. So if you want to hurt people, how gently can you hurt them? Instead of like, there's a big difference between this and this, or this and this, or this, or so these are among the things that I think I learned along the while. So it comes with maturity as well. Dulu head on. That's the truth, I can't lie. But now, actually, it could have been better if. Dulu, that's the most horrible show I've ever seen in the whole wide world. It's like somebody puked on somebody, blah 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 blah. But now, it could have been a better show if. So there's a bit of care there somehow, but you're still telling the truth. The criteria to be a good writer, as in like everybody has the same proficiency. For instance, kamu bisa ngomong Indonesia dan menulis dalam bahasa Indonesia, tapi at the same time you can speak in English, correct? But maybe your English is not as strong as your Indonesian. But the thing is, how do you express it in your language or in another language? It's about the honesty that you have as well. Even if you are weak in language, but if your expression is strong, I think people will still understand. It's about telling a story and understanding as well what is news and what is not news. I mean, I'm sure you have learned about the dog and the man. If a dog bites a man, it's not news. If a man bites a dog, it becomes news. Why the hell would the man bite the dog? Are you mad or what? But it wouldn't be a big news if the man is just another man, like, you know, anybody on the street bite at the, so it becomes a small news there. Man bites dog. But if the man happens to be a Azni Haji Nawawi or Isi Mizal, Alangkah pun tak kisah. Alangkah dia dapat snus kecil je. Or Tun Mahathir bites the dog, being bitten by a dog, it'd be bigger news because it's a celebrity. Oh, he's hospitalized because he was bitten by a mad dog by the roadside. But it'd be a bigger news if any of these names, the big names, bite the dog's ass. So why Tun Mahathir want? So you know what I'm saying, these are the degree of things that you have to understand as well. So that's the reason why when you realize that, it will be easier for you to put what will be the most important to be at the top kind of thing. Using that kind of formula, anything, it will work. It will work anytime.
So you say in other words, you can say media is important, right? I mean, it can change everything.
Yeah, it can change everything. And then the angle is yours. The best part about being a writer is that you can choose your angle. You can influence people, or you can even make people fight if you are that sort. You know the number of wars or the number of fights that will start because of one stupid story. So be responsible. At the same time, be responsible. You know the effect that you have on people. So therefore, what kind of effect do you want before you end up writing it? So you must have an agenda before you write it as well, right? Everybody has an agenda. Even if you say, "Oh, I'm just trying to be honest," but there must be I want to unite the world. So you write stories that are heartwarming, that can make people come together as as one, for instance. But if you say, "I want to make sure that Yemen and blah 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 will go to war," so you start finding story from between Yemen and another country. So you know how big the role of a journalist is. So imagine being in that position of power. That's why when they say the sword is mightier than the pen, and the pen is mightier than the pen is mightier than the sword. So you know what I'm saying, not? What am I saying? But that's why it's true. It is true. But like now, even with no newspaper pun, now you have bloggers and stuff, and it's even worse. So irresponsible people make bad things happen. So you have to be responsible how you express yourself as well. And according to the culture you're in, the country you're in, maybe journalism in Indonesia is different. When I look at when I watch an entertainment program in Indonesia, they're more detailed. They even like Julia Perez mau pergi ke umrah.
Oh yeah.
People over here, we don't care. Kau pergilah umrah. But di sana Julia Perez mau pergi ke umrah kerana baru baik kanker. Jadi niatnya. Tapi the story about that, the journey from how she wanted to go to the end, it took about half an hour. It might just, kalau on Malaysian TV, it'll be like dia nak pergi umrah, and then there'll be something like saya doakan saya, that's about it. And jejak kasus, when you talk about a murder, they go all the way why, what happened, who, what, and the family, what not. In Malaysia, it's like, okay, so and so just got shot, but why? I don't know. They just got shot. There's a big difference. Indonesian journalism, Malaysian journalism. That's what I'm saying. And maybe in Myanmar it's different. And censorship is another thing as well. And in Malaysia, it's not about the government censorship. It's always about our own censorship. Because we are so cautious that before the government can censor anything, we do it for them. As I said, because we're responsible. Because anything can happen the moment. And then there's such a thing about, let's say, racism. Racism. There was a point in Malaysia. There was a point. It is an unwritten rule that, let's say, I'm a Malay and you're a Chinese, and I steal from you. I would just say, I would just say, I wouldn't have. It cannot be emphasized what race you are, because there's a big implication when you say a Malay is robbing a Chinese, or a Chinese robbing a Malay. But if you put just two people being robbed, that's what I'm saying. But now people are getting more and more irresponsible. They just like blurt it out. It's always the Malay's fault. It's always the Chinese fault. So that you see the effect now we have in our country, because there's no control. It's true. It's true. I mean, even if when I was a news writer or business writer, and when I was a feature writer, when I was a reviewer, it works the same. The subjects might be different, but it works the same.
Oh, so you're writing in all aspects.
That's how it is. And the best part now, my magazine, Coordinates, is a property and lifestyle magazine. So I love it because, to be honest, being on the spiritual side now, at this age, it's better to go for something more syara and something that tak subahah. You have to look at you have to look forward to the afterlife as well. And that would also determine what kind of journalist or what kind of person you are as well. When I was like not as spiritual, I wrote recklessly. I just wrote whatever I felt, and people love reading it. They, oh, best news story there. He writes very well, and he really doesn't mince his word, you know. But at the end of it, what do you get? I mean, as a person, how's your soul as a person? Have you stripped off your humanity kind of thing by just like telling too much truth as well? So macam like now, it has to be in a more controlled environment. I'm, as I said, I'm blessed in the sense that I'm no longer doing a lot of TV work as a host or whatever, but people still recognize me as a performer, and then being bilingual is a help. So you're still in the market, you're still relevant.
So maybe you have something to share. I mean, like
Tips.
the suggestion
Tips for mass communication
for mass communication
students.
students or other people outside there.
All mass communication, it's just about being creative. Creativity is key. And then being able to see things from different angles. This is, I mean, it's a cliche, half empty, half full. I want to see it half empty because I can still fill it up. But some people see half full and when is it going to be emptied, you know? So you have to be creative about that. And then like, this is a straw. But if I have a long hair and I decide to put a bun there, it could be just, you know, something. So whatever you see might have a different function kind of thing. So when you see things differently, you think outside the box, you'll be fine. So it's like about in art we learn lateral thinking, to be lateral, not to be literal. Like, you know, a tree is a tree, but what do you do with it? How do you get some fruits down from a tree? I mean, there are many ways you can climb it, whatever. And it's also about survival. One of my favorite stories when I was a kid was about three frogs in a pail. 3 frogs in a pail of milk. They end up somehow in a pail of milk. So the first frog decided, like, that's the end of me. So he floated for a while, and then so the second one said, I can't get out of this. So he started jumping and jumping and swimming and jumping. At one point he said, I don't think I'm meant to live, I'm meant to survive. So mati. But the third one never stopped. But there was a point when the milk started getting coagulated, right? And it gets more solid. So the third one that never gave up jumped out of the pail. I want to be the third frog, always, in whatever situation. There must be a way out, even it's by chance, even it's by takdir. But if you don't give up, whatever, if you're given an assignment, you're given a simple assignment, say accident by the roadside, and then by the time you arrive, it's over. But there must be another story behind it. You cannot get the main story. Maybe there's a story, something else, like how long did the ambulance take to arrive, for instance. So that could be another issue. So keep digging for other things. So if this one doesn't work, you will find something else related to it. You might get a bigger story. You know, it's always like that. Like, and then have your eyes open and your ears open. You have to be very liberal at the same time, but at the same time very controlled. But you have to be very open to new things as well. But at the same time, you need to be, you need a level of conservative, a certain level of that conservative side. You need that to remind you and to be grounded. You know, so it's like not just exploring blindly, but you need to have all the right tools as well. Like to get into the jungle, you need this and this and this and that. Sometimes still not enough. It still doesn't save you. But what will save you? How quick can you think? How quick can you land? Think like a cat. Or rather, cats don't think, they just land. You know?
Yes, it has been a good interview. I mean,
no, I haven't even started yet.
It's a good interview with our famous celebrities.
Not famous, I would say. I mean, just like, you know, yang sedang-sedang saja yang penting.